Welcome back to my channel. Today, we explore the value of specific coins, the top 7 most valuable U.S. Lincoln Wheat penny coins value in today's market. So let's get started. First up, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark is one of the most well-known coins in American numismatics. Although hundreds of millions were produced that year, collectors continue to show great interest in them. When evaluating this coin, especially in a damaged or poor condition, it's essential to understand the historical context, general market value, and what makes even damaged coins appealing to some collectors. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny was minted in the wake of a unique year in U.S. coinage history. In 1943, due to wartime shortages of copper, pennies were struck using zinc steel. This resulted in the famous 1943 steel penny. However, in 1944, the U.S. Mint returned to using copper for cents, primarily derived from recycled ammunition, shell casings. This switch led to the production of billions of copper pennies that year, with the Philadelphia Mint producing over 1.4 billion pieces. These coins were not marked with a mint mark, as was typical for Philadelphia-produced coins at the time. While 1944 pennies are common, collectors still pursue them due to their connection to World War II history. The absence of a mint mark confirms it was minted in Philadelphia. In perfect or uncirculated condition, this coin may fetch a premium price, but when the coin is in a damaged or poor condition, its value significantly drops. Damage in coin collecting can come in many forms. This includes heavy wear, corrosion, scratches, discoloration, environmental damage, and even intentional alterations. Each of these factors lowers the coin's overall appeal and market price. However, it is important to note that even a damaged coin can have a small amount of value, especially if it's still identifiable and retains most of its original features. In today's market, a 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark in damaged condition might be worth between 1 to 10 cents. If the damage is severe, such as pitting from corrosion or a large gouge, the value leans toward the lower end of that range. On the other hand, if the damage is minor and the date and features remain clear, a collector might pay a little more, especially if they are looking to fill a spot in a casual coin album. Coins in this condition are typically referred to as coal coins by dealers. They have little to no numismatic value and are often sold in bulk. Some people buy these coins for educational purposes, crafts, or just for fun. Coin dealers may sell a roll of 50 such damaged wheat pennies for a few dollars, putting the value of each individual coin at a few cents. The sentimental and historical value of a 1944 penny can sometimes exceed its market worth. For some collectors, having a coin from the World War II era, regardless of its condition, is significant. This is especially true for young collectors or those just beginning their hobby, who are more focused on building a complete collection than investing in high-grade pieces. Another factor that might slightly influence the value of even a damaged coin is the presence of errors. Some 1944 pennies exhibit die cracks, doubled dies, or off-center strikes. If a damaged coin also contains a verifiable mint error, it might still attract buyer interest, though the damage would still reduce its premium. It's also worth pointing out that some sellers online try to exaggerate the value of common coins, like the 1944 wheat penny. Listings may describe these coins as rare or valuable when they are, in fact, worth just a few cents. Buyers should always research or consult with reputable coin dealers before purchasing or selling coins, especially in damaged condition. When trying to sell a damaged 1944 penny, most coin shops won't offer much, if anything at all, unless you're selling them in large quantities. Online platforms like eBay or coin forums may yield slightly better results, particularly if you bundle several wheat pennies together. Still, the profit will be minimal unless the coin has unique characteristics beyond its date and damage. In conclusion, a 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark in damaged condition holds very limited value in today's coin market. While its historical context and emotional appeal might make it interesting, its monetary value is usually under 10 cents. It serves better as a learning tool, a piece of history, or a sentimental keepsake than as a financial asset. Collectors seeking value in wheat pennies should focus on uncirculated examples, rare errors, or low mintage years, while casual hobbyists might still find joy in owning even a damaged example from this significant period in U.S. history. Next up, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark, one of the most collected coins in U.S. numismatic history. We'll look at its history, design, mintage, and most importantly, its current market value. If it's in good condition, let's start with a brief background. The Lincoln Wheat penny was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and Lincoln was chosen for his leadership and impact on American history. The coin's design was created by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB are subtly engraved at the bottom of the reverse side on some early versions. The coin remained in production with the wheat ears on the reverse side until 1958. After that, it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. Now focusing on the year 1945. This was a significant year globally, marking the end of World War II. During that time, the U.S. Mint was producing coins in large numbers to keep up with the demand from a recovering economy. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint because it was made at Philadelphia, which did not use mint marks on cents at the time. The coin shows no letter under the date. The 1945 penny was made from a composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Each coin weighs about 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. The obverse, or front side, features a right-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln with the words, "In God We Trust," above his head, Liberty to his left, and the date 1945 to his right. The reverse side shows two stalks of wheat flanking the words 1 cent, United States of America, and the motto E Pluribus Unum. In terms of mintage, over 1 billion 1945 Lincoln Wheat Pennies were produced in Philadelphia. Specifically, the total mintage reached more than 1.04 billion coins, which makes it one of the most common Lincoln Wheat Pennies from the World War II era. So, how does this affect the coin's value today? Because of the high mintage, the 1945 penny without a mint mark is not considered rare. In fact, many of these coins are still found in circulation, coin jars, and inherited collections. However, the coin still holds value, especially for collectors who are trying to build a complete set or for those who appreciate the historical significance of wartime coinage. Now, let's talk about what good condition means in coin grading. In the numismatic world, a coin in good condition falls on the lower end of the grading scale. It means that major details are still visible, but the coin may show heavy wear. Lincoln's portrait will be worn down, and the finer details may not be sharp. Even though it's not the highest grade, collectors still assign a value to coins in this condition, especially older coins. In today's market, a 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in good condition typically has a value of around 5 to 10 cents. This value is mostly driven by its copper content and the coin's age. It's worth more than face value, but not significantly so. However, the value can increase under certain conditions. For instance, if the coin is in very fine, extremely fine, or uncirculated condition, the value goes up. In uncirculated or mint state condition, where the coin has not been used and shows little to no wear, values can range from a few dollars up to $5 or more, depending on the quality of the strike, the coin's luster, and eye appeal. There are also some rare errors or varieties that can add significant value. Although not common, 1945 wheat pennies have been found with double dies, repunched mint marks from other years, or lamination errors. Coins with such errors can sell for $20, $50, or even over $100 depending on the rarity and demand. But again, these are exceptions and not the rule. Most circulated 1945 Lincoln Wheat Pennies will remain in the lower value range. That said, many collectors still enjoy adding them to their sets, especially if they're assembling a year-by-year collection of Lincoln cents. If you happen to find a 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, the first thing you should do is examine its condition. If you're not sure how to grade it yourself, you might consider comparing it to images online or taking it to a coin dealer or coin show for a second opinion. While most examples are worth only a few cents, it never hurts to double check occasionally. A coin that looks ordinary may have a hidden error or unusual feature that adds value. To wrap up, the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is a common but historically interesting coin. In good condition, its market value is modest, ranging from 5 to 10 cents, primarily due to the high number of coins minted and their continued availability. Still, it's a coin worth keeping, especially for collectors interested in World War II or U.S. currency or building a complete Lincoln set. Next up, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Penny, especially one without a mint mark and in extra fine condition, holds a unique place in the collector's market today. The absence of a mint mark on the 1952 Wheat Penny indicates that it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. In that year alone, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 186 million of these pennies. Because of this high mintage, most 1952 no-mint mark wheat pennies are relatively common in lower grades. However, the story changes as the condition improves. When a coin reaches extra fine or higher grades, its value begins to rise among collectors. Before diving into the value, it's important to understand what extra fine means in coin grading terms. Extra fine, often abbreviated as XF or EF, is a grade that suggests the coin has only slight wear on its highest points. The details of Lincoln's hair, cheekbones, and the lines on his coat should still be sharp and visible, although there may be minor rubbing. On the reverse, the wheat stalks should show almost full detail, with only slight signs of circulation. an extra fine coin still has good eye appeal, which significantly influences its desirability. In today's coin market, the value of a 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark in extra fine condition can range from about 20 cents to as much as $1. Most commonly, these coins will sell for around 50 cents when offered individually. While this may seem modest at first glance, keep in mind that these coins were produced for circulation, and many were worn down through daily use. Finding well-preserved examples that meet the criteria for extra fine condition can be a bit of a challenge, which is what gives them added value. Collectors often seek these coins to fill spots in their Lincoln penny albums. For someone trying to complete a circulated set of wheat pennies, condition matters. A coin that stands out in terms of sharpness and detail will always be more appealing than one that is heavily worn. The demand for extra fine examples, even from common dates like 1952, is driven by the desire for uniformity and visual appeal in coin collections. Another factor influencing the value of these coins is their historical significance. The early 1950s was a time of economic growth and post-war optimism in the United States. Coins from this era are a tangible link to that time, and for some collectors, that emotional or historical connection adds to the appeal. While this doesn't always translate directly into higher prices, it does help maintain a consistent interest in mid-century wheat pennies. It's also worth noting that while the Philadelphia Mint did not use a mint mark in 1952, the Denver and San Francisco mints produced their own versions of the wheat penny that year, marked with a small D or S under the date. Among the three, the Philadelphia issue had the highest mintage. This higher supply contributes to its relatively low market value compared to some scarcer dates. However, value isn't only about rarity. Eye appeal, color, luster, and lack of damage all play a role. Coins with original red or red-brown toning can be worth more than those that have turned completely brown. Red pennies, which retain most of their original copper color, are especially desirable, even in circulated grades like extra fine. That said, most extra fine 1952 pennies without mint marks are typically red-brown or brown. Red examples in extra fine condition are harder to find and can command a premium, sometimes reaching $2 or $3 or more, depending on the overall quality. So, who buys these coins? Most buyers are hobbyists, coin collectors, and sometimes investors who enjoy putting together complete sets. Coin dealers and online sellers frequently offer these coins in rolls, lots, or individually, with price variations depending on the coin's actual appearance and market demand at the time. Online, auction sites and coin marketplaces also show that the value can fluctuate slightly depending on the season, coin shows, and market trends. Prices tend to remain fairly stable over time for coins like the 1952 wheat penny, but slight increases can happen as more people enter the hobby or as existing collectors seek better condition examples. If you're thinking of selling a 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny in extra fine condition, your best option might be a local coin dealer, coin show, or an online auction platform. To ensure you get a fair price, it's helpful to compare recent sales of similar coins and, if possible, have your coin evaluated by someone knowledgeable in coin grading. In summary, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark is a common coin in lower grades but becomes more desirable in extra fine condition. Its market value today typically ranges from 50 cents to $1 for an average extra fine example. Exceptional pieces with original red luster or superior strike quality can fetch more. While it's not a rare coin by any means, its historical context, condition, and appeal among collectors keep it relevant in the coin market. Whether you're a new collector or simply curious about coins in your change jar, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat penny is a reminder of American history and the enduring charm of the Lincoln Cent series. Next up, the 1953D Lincoln Wheat penny stands out as a coin that, while relatively common in circulation, still holds collectible value, especially for new coin enthusiasts and casual treasure hunters. The 1953D penny was minted in Denver, which is indicated by the D mint mark just below the date on the obverse side of the coin. This particular year saw a production of over 251 million coins at the Denver Mint, making it one of the more abundant issues in the series. Because of its high mintage, the 1953D wheat penny is not considered rare in general. However, the value of any coin, even one produced in large quantities, can vary based on several factors, such as condition, rarity of certain varieties or errors, and overall demand in the collector's market. In dirty or circulated condition, most 1953D Lincoln pennies do not carry a premium above face value in everyday transactions. However, when evaluated by coin collectors, even a coin in a less-than-ideal state can have some monetary worth, particularly if it has desirable characteristics like unusual toning, mint errors, or simply due to the increasing popularity of wheat pennies in recent years. When we talk about a dirty coin, we're generally referring to one that has been heavily circulated, possibly discolored from exposure to the elements, or stained from contact with various substances. A coin in this state would typically fall under the category of good to very good condition on the coin grading scale, which ranges from poor to mint state. For a 1953D Lincoln penny in this kind of dirty or low-grade condition, you can expect the market value today to be around 3 to 10 cents. This is a modest increase over its face value, but still notable considering the coin is over 70 years old. What keeps collectors interested in even these lower-end examples is often the connection to history and the thrill of the hunt. Many hobbyists enjoy searching through old coin jars, bankrolls, or flea markets in hopes of uncovering these little pieces of the past. It's worth noting that while a dirty 1953D penny might not command a high price today, it still contributes to the wider appreciation for historical coins. Now, let's briefly touch on what factors could make a 1953D penny more valuable, even if it's dirty. One of the primary factors is mint errors. There are known varieties and errors for this date and mint mark, including doubled dies, repunched mint marks, and off-center strikes. If your coin happens to have a visible and verifiable error, it could fetch a much higher price. Even in circulated or dirty condition, some of these error coins have been known to sell for several dollars, or even over $10 in niche markets, depending on severity and collector interest. Another factor is the eye appeal. While dirt itself usually decreases a coin's value, some collectors find naturally toned or uniquely discolored coins interesting, especially if the color patterns are unusual or aesthetically pleasing. This is more common in higher-grade coins, but occasionally, a dirty penny with unique patina can catch a collector's eye. Online marketplaces like eBay and specialized numismatic auction sites sometimes list 1953D pennies, even in poor condition, for sale. These listings often show coins being sold in small bulk lots or individually for around 5 to 10 cents each. Sellers may include terms like wheat, penny lot, vintage Lincoln cent, or circulated coin in the descriptions. While these aren't high-value transactions, they are common and indicate an ongoing market for these coins, even in worn or dirty condition. On the other hand, if you had a 1953D penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, known as mint state, the value would be significantly higher. For example, a 1954D Lincoln wheat, penny graded, MS65, by a professional service can sell for as much as $5 to $15 or more, depending on the market. But for the average dirty example, you might find in an old box or from pocket change. The realistic range remains closer to just a few cents. Still, for collectors or anyone interested in American history, these pennies offer more than just monetary value. They serve as tangible links to a bygone era back when a loaf of bread cost 17 cents, and President Eisenhower was in office. Holding a 1954D penny in your hand is like holding a small piece of that history. In summary, the 1953D Lincoln wheat penny is not considered rare in the world of coin collecting, and its value in dirty or well-circulated condition is modest, generally ranging between 3 and 10 cents in today's market. However, it remains an accessible and interesting collectible, especially for new collectors, educators, and anyone fascinated by the rich history of U.S. coinage. If you're lucky enough to find one with a notable error, or in better condition, you might discover that its value goes far beyond what it first appears. Next up, the 1952 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark, specifically in damaged or heavily circulated condition. We'll explore its background, why collectors still care about it despite its wear, and what it's actually worth in the current coin market. If you've ever come across a worn-out 1952D penny and wondered if it's worth anything at all, this video is for you. The 1952D Lincoln wheat penny was struck at the Denver Mint. The D mint mark, located just below the date on the obverse side of the coin, signifies that it was produced in Denver. That year, the Denver Mint struck a massive number of these coins, over 746 million in total. Because of this high mintage, the 1952D penny is considered a common date among wheat cents. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln wheat penny was first issued in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The wheat reverse design, featuring 2 stalks of wheat along the left and right edges, remained in use until 1958. After that, the design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial reverse. The wheat penny series is a favorite among coin collectors due to its historical significance and classic design. So, how much is a 1952D Lincoln wheat penny worth if it's in damaged or heavily circulated condition? To answer that, we need to define what damaged means in coin collecting. Damage could include corrosion, deep scratches, environmental exposure, dents, or improper cleaning that alters the coin's surface. These issues significantly reduce a coin's value compared to those in mint state or even in average circulated grades. Now, in general, a 1952D Lincoln wheat penny in average circulated condition without serious damage is typically worth around 3 to 5 cents. This is primarily because of its high mintage and the large number of coins that have survived. If it's in slightly better shape, let's say find a very fine condition, it might fetch between 10 and 15 cents. However, when the coin is damaged, the value drops closer to, or even below, face value. In damaged condition, a 1952D penny may only be worth 1 to 2 cents, and in some cases, dealers won't buy it at all unless they're buying bulk wheat pennies by the pound. Some collectors or hobbyists might still be interested in picking up a damaged 1952D wheat penny if they're trying to fill a spot in a folder, especially for educational or starter collections. But again, this is usually in the range of a couple of cents at most. That said, there are always exceptions, particularly if the coin has a unique error or variety. While the 1952D isn't especially known for rare mint errors, there are occasional off-center strikes, die cracks, or repunched mint marks that can increase a coin's value, even in lower conditions. For instance, a heavily worn 1952D wheat penny with a visible mint error might sell for a few dollars, depending on the type and visibility of the error, but these are relatively uncommon. It's also worth mentioning that coin grading plays a major role in determining value. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC assess coins based on strict criteria, from uncirculated condition all the way down to damaged or environmentally affected coins. However, sending a 1952D penny in damaged condition to a grading service is not financially practical, since the cost of grading would be far more than the coin's potential value. If you've got a damaged 1952D penny at home, it's probably best to hang on to it as a piece of numismatic history rather than something of monetary worth. It can serve as a learning tool for understanding coin design, mint marks, and the effects of time in handling on coin surfaces. Some collectors enjoy building entire sets of Lincoln wheat pennies from circulation, damaged or not, and your coin might be a fun addition to that kind of informal collection. In today's market, a bag of heavily circulated and even damaged wheat cents might be sold in bulk on platforms like eBay or at coin shows for a few dollars per 100 coins. These bulk lots usually contain common date pennies like the 1952D, and buyers are often hoping to find a better piece mixed in. So, while a single damaged 1952D penny may not hold much individual value, it can still be part of a larger hobby experience. In summary, the 1952D Lincoln wheat penny is a common and historically interesting coin. In damaged condition, its market value is generally very low, often just a cent or two. It's not something most dealers will be excited about, but that doesn't mean it has no worth at all. For new collectors, kids starting out, or people simply interested in coinage history, even a well-worn penny like this can be meaningful. Next up, the 1954 Lincoln wheat penny is a coin that captures the attention of many collectors, especially when it is found in higher grades like extra fine condition. Though it may seem like just another small copper coin, its place in American numismatics and the specifics of its minting year give it a level of interest and historical relevance that goes beyond its face value. In this video, we'll explore the details of the 1954 Lincoln wheat penny, its value in today's market when preserved in extra fine condition, and why collectors seek out this particular issue. To begin, let's understand what makes the 1954 penny special. This coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint, indicated by the small S mint mark located just below the date on the obverse side of the coin, under the year 1954. Like all Lincoln wheat pennies minted between 1909 and 1958, the reverse features two wheat stalks flanking the denomination, one cent, along with the words United States of America and the motto E pluribus. The obverse bears the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln, which has appeared on the penny since its first issue in 1909. In 1954, the San Francisco Mint struck over 96 million Lincoln wheat pennies. While this is not considered a low mintage by collector standards, it's also not among the highest, which adds a modest amount of scarcity to the 1954 penny. What really determines the coin's value, however, is its condition and the level of detail preserved on both sides of the coin. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with higher numbers representing coins in better condition. A coin in extra fine, or XF, condition typically falls in the range of 40 to 45 on this scale. This means that although the coin has seen circulation, most of the finer details remain visible. On a 1954 penny in extra fine condition, Lincoln's hair and coat should show distinct separation and some texture. The wheat ears on the reverse will be well defined, though light wear will be present on the highest points. So, how much is a 1954 Lincoln wheat penny in extra fine condition worth in today's market? The value can vary depending on the specific quality and the current demand among collectors. Generally, a 1954 penny in extra fine condition is worth around 20 to 35 cents. This may not seem like much, but it's significantly more than its original face value and far more than a modern penny in circulation. Of course, this value can increase under certain circumstances. If the coin has strong eye appeal, a sharp strike, and a rich original luster despite its circulated grade, collectors may be willing to pay a premium. Additionally, if the coin is part of a complete set of Lincoln Wheat pennies in similar grade, it may be valued higher when sold as part of the collection. Coins that are certified and encapsulated by a reputable third-party grading service can also command slightly more in the marketplace, as the authentication adds confidence for potential buyers. It's worth noting that the value of Lincoln Wheat pennies often rises with higher grades. For example, a mint state example of the same 1954 penny, meaning one that has never been circulated, can range from a few dollars to over $10, depending on how flawless the coin is. But in extra fine condition, while it doesn't reach such high prices, it still holds a notable place in a collector's binder or album. Besides the numerical value, the 1954 penny represents a piece of American history. In 1954, Dwight D. Eisenhower was President of the United States. The country was emerging from the Korean War, and post-war prosperity was taking hold across the nation. The coin itself was made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the standard composition for pennies at that time. Its weight is 3.11 grams, and its diameter is 19 millimeters. These specifications remained constant for many years and help identify genuine examples. When collecting wheat pennies like the 1954, it's important to be aware of common counterfeits or altered coins. While this date is not often targeted by counterfeiters due to its modest value, some coins may be altered to appear in better condition than they truly are. Cleaning, for example, can harm a coin's value significantly, even if it appears shinier to the untrained eye. Collectors typically prefer coins in original, uncleaned condition with natural wear and patina. If you happen to come across a 1954 penny in your pocket change or inherited a collection that includes one, examining its condition is key. Check for the fine details on Lincoln's face and the wheat stalks. Look for any damage, corrosion, or unusual wear that could affect its value. And if the coin seems particularly sharp or attractive, it may be worth having it looked at by a dealer or sent in for professional grading. In conclusion, the 1954 Lincoln Wheat penny in extra fine condition is a modestly valuable coin that continues to attract interest from collectors of U.S. coinage. While its market value in this grade ranges from around 20 to 35 cents, its historical context, classic design, and collectability give it a value that goes beyond dollars and cents. Whether you're a new collector starting out or someone sorting through old coins, the 1954 penny is one of those small treasures that remind us of the enduring legacy of the Lincoln cent and the appeal of new. Next up, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark. We'll explore its background, design details, historical context, how to determine its condition, and most importantly, its current value in extra fine condition in today's market. Let's begin with a little background. The Lincoln Wheat penny series was minted from 1909 through 1958. It was introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person instead of the traditional Liberty representation. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the coin shows a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse features two wheat ears, which is why these coins are often referred to as wheat pennies. The 1958 wheat penny is especially notable because it marks the final year of the wheat reverse design before the U.S. Mint transitioned to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. That means this coin represents the end of a 50-year design era, which already gives it a certain appeal among collectors. Now, when we talk about the 1958 wheat penny without a mint mark, we're specifically referring to coins that were minted in Philadelphia. In 1958, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 252 million of these coins. Because of that high mintage number, the 1958 penny is not particularly rare in circulated condition. However, coins in higher grades, like extra fine or better, are always of more interest to collectors. So, what does extra fine condition actually mean? In coin grading terms, extra fine, or XF, refers to a coin that has seen some circulation but still retains most of its original details. The high points of the design may show slight wear, but overall, the coin remains sharp and attractive. On the obverse, Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, and coat will show slight signs of wear, but finer details like the hair and beard lines should still be clear. On the reverse, the wheat stalks should still display their individual lines, with only minor flattening on the top dot. So how valuable is a 1958 wheat penny in extra fine condition today? Because this coin is not considered rare, and many examples exist in decent condition, its value is modest. As of current market data, a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in extra fine condition is generally worth around 15 to 25 cents. It's not a huge number, but it is still more than its face value. This makes it a coin that's accessible to most collectors, especially beginners who are building out a set of Lincoln cents. However, there are always variables that can affect the value of a coin, even one as common as the 1958 penny. For example, if the coin has original red color and luster from its time of minting, it might command a premium. Color designation matters in copper coins. Collectors categorize them as red road, red brown, RB, or brown BN. A 1958 wheat penny in extra fine condition is most likely to fall in the brown or red-brown categories, but occasionally you'll find one with enough original mint color to be considered red that can push its value a bit higher, even in lower circulated grades. Another factor to consider is eye appeal. Two coins with the same grade can sell for very different amounts depending on how clean, attractive, or well-struck they are. Coins with minimal nicks and clean fields tend to be more desirable, even if they technically fall within the same grading bracket. One common question that comes up with the 1958 wheat penny is whether it might be the extremely rare 1958 double die obverse variety. The 1958 double die is one of the rarest and most valuable varieties in the entire Lincoln cent series, with only 3 confirmed examples. If you think you may have one of these, it's worth getting your coin professionally authenticated and graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. But to be clear, the typical 1958 penny without a mint mark does not show any doubling and is worth significantly less than the rare variety. It's also important to be aware that coin values fluctuate. Factors like demand from collectors, general interest in coin collecting, and the price of copper can all have an impact on what someone is willing to pay. While today's market value for a 1958 wheat penny in extra fine condition is in the range of a few cents to a quarter, it's always possible that value could change in the future. To sum it up, the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a common, yet historically significant coin. Its value in extra fine condition isn't high, typically around 15 to 25 cents, but it remains an essential piece for anyone collecting Lincoln cents or interested in mid-20th century American coinage. Its status as the final year of the wheat reverse adds a layer of appeal, even if the coin isn't particularly rare. If you have one of these in your collection, it's worth holding on to, especially if it's in better than average condition. And if you're looking to complete a set of wheat pennies, the 1958 issue is one of the easier and more affordable ones to obtain. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you in next time. Happy collecting!